welcome back to another episode of Thread the Needle. I'm your boy Marvin, and I appreciate y'all for tapping in with us today. As you all know, we are on the road to 100 subs, so please make sure if you are new, tap out of this video right now, go hit that subscribe button, tap that bell so you know when I upload, and make sure you like, comment, share with your friends, share with their friends, tell them to share with their mama. You know how I go, man. Tell them that Thread the Needle is on the road to 100 subs. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in today. Now, we're going to get right into it. As you all know, I said I wasn't going to be uploading this weekend, so I'm giving y'all this video right now. Hey, let's talk about these playoffs, right? Let's get into it. So we have the AFC and the NFC Conference Championship games going down this weekend. We got the Patriots and the Broncos in the AFC, and then we got the Seahawks and the Rams in the NFC. Let's talk about the AFC first. So obviously the Broncos are without Bo Nix, their starting quarterback. So you know it's a bit of a bummer if you ask me. I was definitely looking forward to seeing this matchup pre the Bo Nix injury news. Just because, you know, I got two homies. One's a Patriot fan, one's a Bronco. So just wanted to see them have an even matchup. And, you know, one thing I'm noticing from Patriots fans, and, you know, they're doing this. They're trying to take the pressure off of them, right? They're trying to make it seem as if this is still an even matchup and that the Broncos aren't at a disadvantage, that now that they're having to start Jarrett Stidham. I've seen Patriots fans try to be like, well, you know, Stidham was backing up Brady, so stop it, okay? We're not gonna do that. We're not doing that. I think if the NFL is scripted, right? Why would they script for a Jarrett Stidham Super Bowl? No offense to Jarrett Stidham in any way, but who's watching that, right? Who is watching the Broncos led by Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl? Like, nobody wants to see that. So I don't think we're gonna get that. I think the Patriots win. I think the Broncos defense keeps them in the game, but I think eventually, you know, just not having your leader on the offensive side of the ball is going to bite them in the butt. And, you know, eventually the defense is going to get tired to give up bigger plays. And I can see the Patriots winning this game by about 14 points. Unfortunately for the rest of the NFL, that means that the New England Patriots will be in the Super Bowl. Man, it was fun while it lasted, y'all. It was fun. It was fun not seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, it's looking like they might be back. And yeah, everyone has annoying Patriot fans that they know, and you know that they're gonna be even times 50, and you know, nobody likes that. But enough about that game. Let's talk about the NFC game, which actually features both starting quarterbacks. I'm gonna tell you, I believe whoever wins this, I believe this is the Super Bowl game. Whoever wins this game is winning the Super Bowl. I don't think even if the Broncos were to upset the Patriots, or regardless the Patriots winning, I don't see either one of them beating either of the Seahawks or the Rams. I'm not seeing it. I think the champion is going to come out of the NFC West, to be specific. When I first did my bracket, I had the Rams going all the way, and I don't see a reason to change that right now. I mean, the Seahawks did have a dominating win over the 49ers, but the 49ers were also dealing with injury on top of injury on top of injury. So don't really know how much stock I want to buy into that yet. Will I be surprised if the Seahawks beat the Rams? Obviously not. The Seahawks are the 1 seed for a reason. But I think, Matthew Stafford is on a mission right now. I think he's trying to get ring number 2 and I can honestly see him. Does Matthew Stafford retire after he? I just thought about this. Does Matthew Stafford ride off into the sunset after the game if he wins, or does he try to come back for another season, try to win another one, kind of like what Brady did with the Bucks, where, looking back on it, Brady probably should have just retired after the ring, just went out on a high horse. But Brady, being the competitor that he is, wanted to come back to try to repeat, and obviously they failed at that. So that would be my only gripe with Matthew Stafford coming back for another season. I mean, obviously Matthew Stafford could probably play for another 2 or 3 good years, but how many more chances do you think you're going to win a Super Bowl, right? I believe if Matthew Stafford wins this Super Bowl, just go ahead and go out on a high horse, man. Why not? I'm looking forward to these games, though. I do expect 2 good games, even though the Broncos are dealing with their starting quarterback being out. If you've watched the Broncos, the defense is the best part of their team, and obviously they're the offense, you got to score, but the defense can keep you in the game, and that's what I expect the Broncos to do. I expect them to hang in there. I just don't think it will last all that long. It's unfortunate circumstances for the Broncos, but that's that on that. We'll check back in on Monday to see how I did with my picks, to see how the games went. I'll give y'all my reactions to those games on Monday, so expect that on Monday. All right, now let's talk about a little bit of weird news that came through the waves yesterday. Jim Irsay, the former owner of my favorite NFL team, the Colts, he passed away last year. I think it was in May, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in May. And now the FBI is apparently investigating his death. And so, I saw the notification yesterday, and I was like, okay. It was a little bit weird. If you know the backstory of Jim Irsay, Jim Irsay dealt with opioid addiction back in the day, substance abuse addiction. He had a real big problem with that back in the day. And it was a few times where he relapsed throughout the years. It was even one as recent as 2023, I believe, where it was a rumor out that apparently he overdosed and, he was found unresponsive in his home. That was back in 2023. So obviously he survived that. And, he came out and denied the allegations, obviously. But, it's weird because I don't really know what the investigation is for, why, or specifically why the FBI would be investigating it. I hear FBI, I'm thinking like, okay, foul play, something happened, which would be insane, right? But I mean, it's something, right? The FBI investigating his death is not for any, like, the FBI is not doing that for no reason. So, definitely will keep my eye to that. Just a weird situation going on. The Colts are just a weird team, and we just continue to get weirder by the day, by the season. And there's always some drama going on with the Colts. So as a Colts fan, this doesn't surprise me. But Jim Irsay, though, rest in peace to you. Hopefully the Colts can turn it around one day for you. It did look like this season they were. This season was dedicated to Jim Irsay, and they started out 7-1, and then it got to 8-2, and then you finished the season 8-9 and missed the playoffs. But no, I'm not gonna do that, man. We're not gonna do that. No. Because I could go on and on about the Colts, and I could rant to y'all for like 30 minutes straight about the Colts, and I'm not gonna do that. So, yeah, like I said, I'll keep y'all updated. As more info that I get, I will share that on this topic. All right, now before I get up out of here, I gotta talk about this Bills owner Terry Pegula situation, because I don't know if y'all saw what he said in his press conference, but it rubbed me the wrong way. So I'll play the clip that he played when an interviewer asked him a great question. Actually, he didn't even ask him. That's the crazy part. He didn't even ask the owner this question. He asked the GM, Brandon Beane, a question about not getting Josh Allen enough help in the receiver room and potentially drafting the bust, because I'm not going to just label Keon Coleman a bust yet. He's only a second-year player. That's way too early to call someone a bust. But, you know, he asked him a legit question, and Brandon Beane was about to answer it before Pegula said this.
How do you answer the fact that you have not given Josh a good enough wide receiver thus far?
Yeah, I mean,
Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, you know, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it, but I'm here to tell you the true story.
Now, as you can see, that's nah. Like, the fact that he singled out the coaching staff that he just fired and tried to throw them under the bus, like, it's pretty much just like kicking a dead man. You know, like, come on, bro. You really want us to believe that Sean McDermott made a pick by himself and basically it was just a coaching staff and, you know, Brandon Beane didn't agree to that? Like, nah, man, we're not doing that. And listen, I understand you want to defend Brandon Beane, right? You do. And I don't fault him for trying, I guess, to defend Beane, but in a sense that just makes Brandon Beane look bad, because if, let's say, Keon Coleman next year figures it out, right? Brandon Beane or Pegula can no longer, well, first of all, I don't think Keon Coleman plays another snap for the Bills anyway. But if he goes and has a great season, right? Neither one of them can take any credit for drafting Keon Coleman now. I hope that they realize that. Like, you better hope Keon Coleman just is trash, because if he goes somewhere and he figures it out, we're gonna be like, okay, yeah, Sean McDermott made that pick, right? Not either one of y'all. Sean McDermott made that pick. So Sean McDermott gets the credit for that, right? So that's my thoughts on that. And then on top of that, it's just a little bit of hypocrisy, because we also have this clip.
when I went to bed that night, I was like, it's Keon unless someone just blows us away. We didn't feel anything was attractive enough for us to pass up on Keon.
So as you can see clearly, this was not just a Sean McDermott pick. The Bills organization was all in accordance on this pick. So we ain't hearing that, Pegula. We ain't hearing that. Own it. Take ownership. You're an owner. Take ownership. Just say you might have missed on that pick, or don't. Why even bring him up like that though? He's still on your team. He's still on your roster. At least wait until he's no longer on the roster before you basically call him a bust and a failure, right? That's just me. That's just my feeling on it. But you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all let me know y'all comments down below. Let me know how y'all feeling about that story, or about the Irsay story, or who y'all got this weekend in the conference championship games. Y'all know what we do, man. This is the road to 100 subs. Needle Threaders. Until next time, it's been your boy Marvin, and I'll see you on the flip. Peace.